My name is Hakeem. I'm originally from Nigeria, which is in West Africa, and the languages that I speak is English, Yoruba, which is my native tongue from the Yoruba tribe, and I'm just speak a little bit of Arabic only because I am Muslim, and so that's part of something that I need to know to be able to read the Quran in Arabic. I would say I consider myself very fluent in English, and hopefully you guys can tell that from this conversation. In Yoruba, I would say in Yoruba, if somebody's speaking to me in Yoruba, I can definitely understand everything they're saying. Now, if I'm trying to, speak back to them in Yoruba, it might take me a little bit to think it out, where it's not as natural as English, where I can just roll off the tongue. But for Yoruba, I have to kind of take a little bit and kind of translate it, and then be able to say it. And sometimes my enunciations might be off. I can say several certain phrases in Arabic that I use for prayers. I can translate that to English, but that's only because I know it well. But if anyone's ever speaking to me in Arabic, no. I would say I'm trying to think. There's so many words that I sometimes forget the word for in English. If it's trying for me to describe a certain situation using more, I guess, SAT words, as you would like to, or SAT verbiage, I sometimes struggle, and so I'll usually just go with the basic level words that I feel more comfortable with. Because like I said, English isn't my first language, so I don't always know what word to use. And for Yoruba, when it comes to describing situations, this is happening in the situation, I struggle with it. Anytime it comes to emotional things, emotional based words, I'm always good at that. When it comes to describing things that aren't emotionally based, that's difficult for me, because Yoruba does have a lot of words that are emotionally charged, and so those words I'm good with because I'm a drama king. And so when it comes to using words that aren't emotionally based or just very platonic, I kind of struggle with that a little bit. So for example, if you wanted to tell someone that you are angry, obviously you say I'm upset, and so Yoruba, the way you say is mobinu, which means that I'm angry. But depending on the way you say it, it can mean one thing. You can be mobinu, okay, I'm kind of angry. But you can say mobinu, where it's if you the way you inflect the word, it sounds a little bit more aggressive. And so once you say it that way, somebody can tell that you're really upset, where you can say I'm angry, I'm really angry, I'm really upset with you. But then Yoruba, all of those sentences mean the same thing, but depending on where you say it, it has a different meaning. So if you say it in a short tone, you kind of I'm kind of mad at you, you're not really, you're I'm a little mad. But then if you inflect that word very emotionally, then it means I'm really pissed off at you, I'm so upset at you. So that's some things right there. If you're trying to explain to someone what the being careful, something to be careful when you're doing something, the way you would say in Yoruba, it doesn't really make sense, because the way you say is erora, which means be soft. But obviously if you were to translate that how it sounds into English, it would mean be soft. But the way Yorubas would if you were to tell somebody, the way they would take that translation would be be careful, you need to calm down, you need to be more relaxed. But obviously if I was to tell you, if you knew what that meant under the literal term, it would mean be soft, and you'd be what does be soft mean? Do you want me to not be harsh, you want me to be more nice? But I'm just all I'm trying to say is you need to calm down, you need to be calm, cool, and collected. So sometimes when you're saying those words to people who may not understand the language, you're what the hell, that doesn't make any sense. But there's certain words that the way the literal translation does not mean how you use it. Then with Spanish, where obviously the literal translation isn't always what it's supposed to be intended. Yeah, yes, absolutely. So if you don't know how to say something, you just use English, and I use that a lot. So that's how I can tell my Yoruba is not as well as other people. It's a little broken up, because anytime I'm trying to say in Yoruba, I'll always throw English. So I wouldn't know how to say it. I'd be mobinu, because already me wants to fuminikwe, and stuff like that. You sometimes you throw English in there, and so it's yeah. My mom, anytime she talks in Yoruba, I can always hear her accent. Sometimes in English, her accent sometimes will be a little it'll be a little broken, but anytime she speaks in Yoruba, the accent comes out fully. And for me as well too, when I say certain English words that I may not be comfortable with, sometimes my accent will come out. For example, if I'm trying to say the word bookkeeping, you can hear the accent I'm getting book, because I can't say it properly. And then anytime I speak in Yoruba, my accent always comes out, because I kind of just naturally revert back to my native language, so my native tongue comes out naturally. But with English, obviously certain words that comes out. So I would say it definitely does impact how I identify myself, because usually anytime I speak to people, they usually ask me oh, where are you from? Because I guess often I don't hear my own accent, and so certain people will be they hear oh, I could tell that you had an accent. So I would say it's always a part of my identity anytime I speak. Obviously people look at me might think oh, he's just African American, he's black, but the ones who hear me speak, they realize that oh, he may be more foreign than he appears. And that's when usually people find out that I am from Africa, or I wasn't born in the United States. And so for the most part, if I'm quiet, I can kind of kind of fly underneath. But then once I speak, people can then realize that I'm definitely not from this country, or that I'm from, a different continent. So I identify myself as Nigerian. So like, even when people say like, are you African American? I just say I'm African. No offense, like African American. I'm just saying, like, for me, it's like African means like you were born in the continent of Africa, and I was born in Africa, and I lived there for a part of my life. Obviously, I've been in the United States, but I'm a citizen of Nigeria and the United States. But I was born in the US. I'm in Nigeria, so I always claim that. So I always identify as either Nigerian or overall as African, like nationality, but as like ethnicity, I would say Nigerian.